I am Basia Sokolowska and I'm taking you through my creative alphabet. I for intimacy. Well, my relationship to the world is quite intimate. My relationship to myself is intimate. And so my art making is intimate. I much prefer to talk about art making than art practice because of that private, intimate dimension. Art making, just like love making or music making, which means not a big performance in a concert hall, um, but enjoying making music in your own company or in a small group of people who make music. There is something very cozy, very private, um, and very hidden about music making and about the environment in which I work as an artist. As I mentioned, I work um, at home, and I work in a way which is very much my own. That's one of the reasons why I'm making these videos, to make my art more accessible, because it evolves according to its own momentum. It has its own agenda. And I think in order to explore it and to give it justice, um, it really needs that dimension of intimacy, privacy, this kind of quiet, respectful environment in which I explore and create my relationship with things around me and things within me in the form of art. Art for me is a way of interacting with the world and with myself and with the art materials or technology I use in making images. It's not about making a statement. My art, it's not about making an exhibition. Exhibitions are just the final stage of my creative process, and they usually a lot of hard work. And basically, the reason why I like them is that I can see what I have made and decided to put out there in a public space, not in my very private, intimate space where I'm making the images, but somewhere where anyone can go in and look at them and perceive them in their own ways. And I'm also curious about that reception. So that's the reason behind exhibiting and publishing. And selling is like, well, saying goodbye to my artworks and letting them embark on their own adventure. This dimension, this intimate, private, hidden from the world dimension, it's for me an essential quality of my creative process. It has to be respectful, it has to be as long as it needs to be, because it's really working on very subtle energies and presences and dynamics. So it's not something that I'm conquering. It's something that I'm kind of developing a very, very intimate, very private, very individual relationship based on curiosity and respect. It's giving and taking, so much like lovemaking ought to be. Well, I often make a lot of images which don't make it to the final selection presented in an exhibition. And they are just part of the kind of stages of the process. For example, this photograph was taken while working on the project, on the series of photographs titled Adaptation. This series is very much honoring the intimacy, because it's about a very close relationship between an environment and a body that fits into this environment. So it's like meeting of the two, and sort of enmeshing of the two. But that image never made it to the exhibition or even the book. The book shows the process of making this series, and it shows different images that sort of came along the way as it evolved. So it doesn't really appear in there. There are other images, and someone asked me actually, why didn't you exhibit them? Well, because they weren't what I was going for, and as much as they could be exhibited, because they kind of are good enough, it wasn't really, I felt there was more to it to explore, and went that way. So this image is not even in this book. The final images look, just bear with me, I'll find them. Here they are. These are some of the final images which made it to the exhibition. There were 8 of them. This is actually the first time I'm showing it. I'm showing this image. I printed it because I liked it. I was drawn to it. Here it is. I'm including it in my video on intimacy for you to enjoy.